part that had the belief of I don't do it, nobody else will, couldn't exist in menopause. Literally, I was like, I can't even function, let alone do everybody else's job. So that was one of the gifts, was like, oh, you guys take the reins. Like, I'm not here for it. So those boundaries I spoke about that I had to create, but in a really clear way. Just a lot of younger parts. You have anxiety, you're not sleeping. So some of those vulnerable parts that maybe were reflective of the trauma, anxieties and pressures that could be reactivated at that time. And for me, I was wise enough to know that this was a hormonal imbalance, and I wasn't gonna try to be a hero and fight through it. And I right away got myself, within a few months, got myself on a medicated path, which really saved my life, with hormones. And so, not everybody's a candidate for that, but get whatever help you can get, women, because you need it. And we have experiences that men just don't have. One of the ways that a lot of doctors and healers these days are really healing collective trauma is actually speaking and giving voice to women and their hormones. Because I think that so many generations, particularly the generation ahead of me, didn't have that freedom to speak or get the support that they needed. And women were told they were crazy.
The part of you that you talked about a couple times, that you had to do it yourself, did that also make you a kind of super caretaker without boundaries too? Or
the things that I should have expected other people to do for me, I would just say, well, I'll just do it. So it was very much replaying that story. It's like, your parents are supposed to take care of you, but I had to do it. So the people that worked for me, or so people that I was employing, I would take the burden of the workload and say, oh, well, if you're not going to do it the way I think that we should do, I'll just do it. Or, and I just wouldn't, and I also couldn't trust that someone would be able to take care of me.
And then you would resent them because they weren't doing it? Or
I would resent them, but I'd also just take it on, just keep taking it on, and live with this belief that no one could take care of me.
So you were overwhelmed at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you look at a lot of entrepreneurs, particularly female entrepreneurs, and they're so burnt out and they're so spent and they're just doing everything. And they're so hypervigilant and they're so workaholic. And why? They're running from the trauma. They're protecting from the trauma.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Well, I think that the thing that's so universal about this work, particularly in the sense of being able to introduce it in a really simple way, is that it can be brought to all these different communities, right? It can be brought to entrepreneurs. It can be brought to the doctors. It can be brought to people in recovery. When I wrote Self-Help, I was a fellow at a recovery center, and every month I would go in and I would lead these sessions with the folks in the recovery center. And I'd ask everybody in the room, like, how many of you experienced trauma as a childhood? And all of our hands would go up. And then I'd say, well, wouldn't it make sense that we would do whatever it took to put out the flames of the fire of that suffering? And everybody would be like, yes, yes. And then I'd say, well, what if we could see that our addiction might have been trying to protect us? And, some people in the room were just like, burst into tears, like, oh my God. And then some people would be very resistant, like, no, my addiction is terrible, I can't tell you. But those environments of just having this dialogue, of being able to just be that witness of, wait, this could be a protection mechanism. This could be trying to keep me together, and takes away so much of the shame.